The script, the architecture of belief. The most expensive thing you will ever own is your belief in yourself. It costs nothing to buy, but it costs everything to maintain. Most people are walking around with an empty bank account in this department. They are waiting for someone else to give them a loan. They are waiting for a boss to tell them they're talented, for a partner to tell them they're worthy, or for a like on a screen to tell them they matter. But if your belief is built on the opinions of others, you aren't a leader. You're a hostage. You are a hostage to the whims of people who are just as confused and scared as you are. Believing in yourself is not a feeling. It is a decision. It is a cold, calculated choice you make in the dark when there is absolutely no evidence to support it. Anyone can believe in themselves when the sun is shining and the bank account is full. That's easy. That's just reacting to your environment. True belief, the kind that moves mountains and builds empires, is a proactive force. It is the ability to look at a blank canvas and see a masterpiece. It is the ability to look at a failure and see a lesson. It is the internal conviction that you are a force of nature, regardless of what the scoreboard says today. We need to talk about the evidence loop. Most people say, "I'll believe it when I see it." That is the mantra of the mediocre. The high performer says, "I'll see it when I believe it." Your brain is a filtering machine. If you don't believe you are capable of greatness, your brain will literally ignore the opportunities that would lead you there. It will filter out the mentors, the ideas, and the openings because they don't fit your internal narrative. You are essentially blind to the paths you haven't yet decided you can walk. Belief is the light that reveals the road. Without it, you are just stumbling in a room full of doors you can't see. Where does this belief come from? It doesn't come from affirmations in the mirror. You cannot lie to your own soul. You cannot tell yourself you're a titan if you've spent the last 6 months acting like a coward. Belief is built on a foundation of kept promises. It is the result of small, boring victories. It is the result of getting out of bed when you said you would. It is the result of finishing the workout when you wanted to quit. Every time you do what you said you would do, you are making a deposit into your belief account. After a while, that account becomes so large that no amount of external criticism can bankrupt you. You know who you are because you have the receipts. You are afraid of your own potential. That is the truth we don't like to talk about. It is much easier to play small and stay safe. If you believe you are just average, then no one expects much from you. You can hide. But if you decide to believe that you are destined for something significant, you have just accepted a massive burden of responsibility. You have just told the world that you are a person who matters, and that means you have to show up like one. Belief is the heavy crown that few are willing to wear. But the crown is what protects you from the arrows of the ordinary. Stop looking for the sign. You are the sign. Your existence is the result of 1,000,000,000 to 1 shot against the dark. You are the product of thousands of ancestors who survived wars, famines, and plagues so that you could stand here today. You have the DNA of survivors pulsing through your veins. To not believe in yourself is an insult to the history that produced you. You were not designed to be a placeholder. You were not designed to be a background character in someone else's story. You were designed to be the protagonist. But a protagonist has to be willing to take the risk. A protagonist has to be willing to believe in the mission even when the odds are stacked against them. The world will try to break your belief. It is the world's job to test your conviction. People will laugh at your dreams because your dreams remind them of the ones they gave up on. They will call you delusional. Good. Every great thing that has ever been done on this planet was once considered a delusion by the people who didn't have the courage to try it. Delusion is just the word small-minded people use for a vision they can't understand. Let them stay in their reality while you build yours. Reality is flexible. Reality belongs to the person with the strongest will. You need to perform an audit of your inner circle. Who are the architects of your belief? And who are the demolition crew? If you are surrounded by people who constantly pour cold water on your sparks, you will eventually freeze. You cannot stay on fire in a room full of fire extinguishers. Surround yourself with the builders. Surround yourself with people who make you feel like your impossible is inevitable. But even then, remember, their support is a bonus, not a requirement. At the end of the day, when the lights go out and you are alone with your thoughts, the only voice that matters is yours. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Not in a fairy tale way, but in a fundamental way. If you knew that every setback was just a setup for a comeback, how would you walk? How would you talk? How would you treat the person in the mirror? That version of you exists. They are just waiting for you to give them permission to take the lead. Belief is that permission. It is the key that unlocks the door to your actual capabilities. When this audio ends, the silence will return. And in that silence, you will have to make a choice. You can go back to seeking permission, or you can start granting it. You can keep waiting for the world to tell you who you are, or you can start telling the world. The shift happens the moment you decide that your internal conviction is more real than your external circumstances. You are a creator. You are a builder. You are a force. Don't just listen to these words. Become them. Build the architecture of your belief so strong that nothing on this earth can shake it. The world is waiting for you to show up. Stop waiting. Start believing.
Start now.